Hi all, Dmitry is here. Welcome to my next video about AA battery testing. Today we will test Westrom batteries. I bought them in city named Vilnius in Lithuania. And here you can see pretty interesting packages because there is no English language. We have here Lithuanian, Latvian, Estonian, Bulgarian, Polish and Spanish, I believe, but not English. But interesting, we have Polish here, but I never saw batteries like this here in Poland. Okay, let's check them and let's start with rechargeables as usually. And interesting moment here that they are not low self-discharge, and we have information about this here. I can barely read Bulgarian. And we see here that must be recharged every 3 months and should not be stored without recharging more than 1 year. So it looks like in 3 months they will lose most of the capacity, and after 1 year without recharging they will have some internal damage. So let's check how much capacity remains in them, like off the shelf. Then I will recharge them, test again, and test alkalines. Let's go with rechargeables, let's check them. Here is raw data for Westrom rechargeables off the shelf, so it's just a state in which they have been when I bought them. And as you can see here, capacity is super low, less than 200 milliamp hours for this cell, and here we have about 500 milliamp hours. I think this difference is because some of cells are better, some of cells are worse, but in general it's a super low capacity, so we can clearly tell that they are not low self-discharge ones. It's cells with high self-discharge. Here is the raw data for Westrom rechargeables after recharge, and you see clearly different picture here, different from what we had with first shot. Capacity is about 2000 and maybe 200 milliamp hours. It's slightly lower than they should have by information from the package. Maybe they need several cycles to achieve full capacity, but general capacity are more or less fair, and they handle the load very good. Even with half ampere, capacity is almost not dropping, voltage is stable, and internal resistance is quite low. So these batteries have high self-discharge, it's minus, but about their good characteristics we can tell that they can drive load with high current without problems. Okay, it's time for alkalines. We have this 8-pack. Interesting that I not found 4-pack normal packaging of 4 batteries, only this one. Okay, it's a bit unusual, but let's test them and see what we have here. Here is the raw data for Westrom alkalines, and as you can see here, with low current they have a decent amount of capacity, more than 2500 milliamp hours, maybe 2600 milliamp hours. But please take a look at the graphs, and you see that yellow curve that shows energy is like bended slightly, even with low current. This happens because we have a significant voltage drop, and we don't have some horizontal plate here. We have drop at from very beginning, and we have this voltage dropping and dropping and dropping, and we don't have a quick drop here. It's just almost continuously drops at our battery life. It's not a good sign actually, and as you can see, when we increase the load, this bending of the curve begin more and more significant. this happens because high internal resistance. You can see internal resistance graph here, and it's quickly growing. It's quite big actually and quickly growing. So these batteries can handle well only really low loads, maybe wireless mouse, maybe wall clock or something like that. But with even with 100 milliamps, I think they have not good shape of voltage graphs. So even 100 milliamp load is slightly too much for them, I think. Here we have capacity and voltage comparison of Westrom batteries. As you can see, rechargeables off the shelf has really low energy and capacity in them. This happens, I think, because a huge self-discharge. I think they are from old generations, so they have really high actually self-discharge. But after recharging, they have decent characteristics even with high current. As you can see, with half ampere, they have much more capacity and much more energy than Alkalines. Alkalines is just a yellow bar. But with low current, Alkalines from Westrom are better than rechargeables from Westrom. So I think if you have really low load, you should buy Alkalines. In all other cases, you should buy rechargeables, but not the rechargeables from Westrom. You should buy something with really low self-discharge, not like here. And let's take a look at the internal resistance comparison. And here we have some fantastic values for Alkalines. At the start and at middle of, maybe not middle, at the beginning of discharge, they have more or less normal internal resistance, but with middle of discharge and at the very end they have huge internal resistance. This will block your devices from work, so probably with high powerful devices you will not able to utilize these batteries fully. So they have good capacity, I mean Alkalines good capacity, but too much internal resistance. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments if I need to change something or if you want me to test some certain batteries. Thank you, have a nice day, bye!